I'm Randy Vance. I'm with Saltwater Sportsman Magazine, and I'm with Earl Bentz, the CEO of Caymas Boats, a nearly new company that's 5 years old in the industry, and Todd Falk, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Let's talk a little bit about this new company in the marketplace, and in particular, your saltwater fishing boats, Earl.
Well, we pride ourselves in providing the highest quality boat with the highest quality component parts available. They're, that's our motto.
Well, I don't, I can't argue with that. Having been on a couple of them myself and been on a lot of boats, you guys are putting premium stuff on there, and you're doing it in a very precise
yeah,
way.
and there are people that don't. If there's a switch that we pay $25 for, that's going to give a lifetime of service, compared to another switch that costs $1.50, they'll get it off the showroom floor. Some people choose to go the latter direction with the cheaper component parts, and it works well for them. It's not, I'm a fisherman, I'm a boater. I don't want to go down. When I go to my home in Stewart, I want to go fishing. I don't want to be replacing switches, replacing pumps, working on boats. Give me a live well system that works. So I'm throwing that cast net for 2 hours trying to catch some pilchards. I don't want them suckers dying. Exactly.
Yeah.
So in the fit and finish, from a tooling perspective, we've got hundreds, if not thousands of years of experience, boat builders, craftsmen who take not just pride in what they do, but pride in what their finished product looks like.
Yeah.
And they take, had a guy in my office this morning that just he says, Earl, we're building the best boat we've ever built. And the other thing is where the rubber meets the road is the hull design. These double step hulls that Michael Peters has perfected. When we made the decision to team up with Michael, he's got it nailed. I'm going to tell you, he has got it nailed. If anybody out there is thinking about buying a boat, nobody likes getting wet. Nobody likes getting beat up. Go ride one of our boats. Go ride one of Michael's hulls. They're unbelievable.
In our test of that 28, dry ride, smooth ride. And one of the things that SVVT hull is known for is taking turns and hooking up in them and coming through them safe and sound. And you don't get that out of a lot of stepped hulls. So that's a well-designed bottom.
It is. And one of the negative characteristics that when we were investigating early on, Adam and I, was in a following sea, the propensity to want to hook or spin out.
Right.
And because of this tunnel design that he's got back in the back of his boats, it's like it's on rails. And the boat is safe, the boat is soft, the boat's dry, and I congratulate Michael. He's got her dialed in. Pad bottom bass boat. That design's pretty much, the old performance thing. That's my thing. But these double stepped hulls, we're relying on others, and we're very happy and tickled with the partnership with Michael.
Let's talk about power for a minute. The 41 that you've come out with, what's the max horsepower on that?
1,800.
1,800. Now, what combination of motors are you going to hit that number with?
Mercury introduced this new 600 last week, or the week before, 2 weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Half weeks ago.
We're very excited about it. Randy, when you look at 50 and 60 foot center consoles now with outboards on the back, this would have been unheard of not many years ago. I remember back when you went fishing with the outboard, if you didn't have 2 spark plugs in your tackle box, you probably wouldn't get home.
Yeah.
Just very undependable. And now these new 4-stroke outboards are so dependable. And the beauty of them is it's so easy to take them, and if you want to repower, just unbolt it and bolt another one on. So this new 600 horse V12 that Mercury's come out with, we're looking at possibility of putting 3 on our 40-footer. Got 11.5 foot beam. We've got some testing to do because it does add a little weight compared to the quad 400s or quad 450s that we put on.
Yeah.
So we'll do that over the next few months with with Mercury's help. Yamaha's got their 425 that weighs, I think, 1,050 pounds each. On a 34, that boat with twins, twin 425s does a great job. Triple 400s, the 450 Mercs does a beautiful job as well. Yeah, and I'm certain that this V12 that they could probably squeeze some more horsepower out of it.
I bet they can. They'll supercharge it or something.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. It's what's happened in the last 10 years in the development of these 4-stroke outboards is nothing short of a phenomenon. And it's I've got a single engine, single on my 28. And, I fish out of Stewart. You've been down there. You fished out of there. I have no concerns at all about getting back to the dock. I've never been left out.
No. I've never turned the key that I didn't get a reward. So, another thing that I've noticed about your boats, there are two things. Style, for one. You can walk through a marina and yours will stand out. There's something about the lines of it, the coloring of the sides and how they align with the lines. You must have a lot of guys back in the design room going through that kind of stuff.
Thank you. I mean, there's nothing to be said that you've got to make your boat ugly. Functional, ugly don't have to go hand in hand. It can be functional and pretty as well.
Yeah.
And I do have a stylist that we worked with. We've got one here in house that we work with for the past 40 years. It's done a great job for us. So we take a lot of pride. We get a lot of comments. I was at a show in Tampa week before last.
Yes.
And met about a dozen of our owners of our boats. And one lady, she said, I've only got one complaint. She said that every time we go to the public boat ramp, it takes us too long to get our boat in the water because everybody wants to come look at it.
Yep. So
pretty good complaint to have.
Let's look at the 28 hybrid for a minute. Give me, what are your, and I'd like both of you to answer this. Give me your favorite feature on that boat.
Favorite feature on the 28, I would say probably the beam and the space of the boat. Being a 9'4" beam on a 28-foot boat in a bay boat style, that combined with the forward seating just makes it such a comfortable and functional boat. Got 2 huge casting decks, but you can have 4 or 5 people fishing on that boat very comfortably. You can pass by. I mean, it is just a really, really comfortable boat to be on and fish on.
I had another brand of bay boat prior to getting my 28.
Mm-hmm.
My 3 daughters and my wife, to my knowledge, never went on it one time, not once. There was no place for them to sit unless they were sitting behind the console or on the eddy in front of the console that did have a pad on it. But it was a very unfriendly boat to anyone other than a hardcore fisherman. And now having 4 grandsons, still have 3 daughters and son-in-laws, we can put 4 couples on that boat. Everybody's got a padded seat to sit down on, a big fold-up bench in the back, wrap-around U-shaped seating with backrest on it. So the girls, if they want to go out and lay out in the sun, and we've got a porta potty under the head. So they've got the comfort of knowing that they need to go use the restroom. They've got a place and privacy that they can go use the restroom. So there's so many features: big fish box, big live wells, high-speed pickups with a live well. Keeps pogies alive, hardest fishing bait fish there is to keep alive. And a huge fish box with a macerator on it when I do get fortunate enough to catch a few dolphin or cobia or something to throw in the box.
So how would you quantify the value of comfort versus the value of hardcore fishing when it comes down to somebody picking their boat? How do those features balance out for the buyer?
Well, I think it, of course, all depends on the buyer, but I think the unique thing about our boats is they do both really, really well. Boats fish just unbelievably well between the live well system and the front and rear casting deck. You've got just tons of space, a great platform to fish on, but also the ability to load the family up and go to the sandbar, go take it to dinner, just all very comfortable, all in the same day. I mean, you can go run offshore in the morning and fish, come inshore, finish up your day, and then go load up the family that evening and go to dinner.
You know what's surprising to me, Randy, is having lived here in Tennessee, we're a 6.5 hour drive to the Gulf from here.
Right.
Is Kentucky Lake. When I first moved here in 1975, you never saw a center console boat on Kentucky Lakes, an hour and a half west of here. Bass fishing lake. Percy Priest Lake right here in Nashville. Good striped lake, smallmouth lake, largemouth crappie. You never saw a center console boat. Some of our bigger dealers today, our dealer right here in Nashville, Clark Marine, huge center console dealer for us. Dealer in Atlanta. There's so many people that, because of the utilitarian nature of this boat, to be able to fish for bass, fish for stripers, fish for crappie, hook up to it and drive to the coast and catch redfish, snapper, grouper, cobia offshore, but yet come back to the lake and fish on the lake. Today, nearly 40% of the boats that you see, fishing boats that you see on Kentucky Lake, are center consoles, believe it or not.
It makes a trailer one of the most important parts of your boat, getting it around. The other thing, we're talking about the big center consoles over 40 feet. That's my philosophy in boats is I'd rather have a fast boat and a warm shower at the end of the day than a slow boat with a warm shower in it somewhere. And I think that has when you look at the cost of slipping a boat here in Punta Gorda Isles, where we are, you can buy a modest house, make the payments on it for less than you'd be paying a slip fee in a marina, and then have your boat in your backyard. And I think that's one of the things that makes outboards so attractive in this market now, is so many coastal boaters that are living on the water and have their boat in their backyard.
Well, more and more people are gravitating to the coast.
Right.
And it's, I was raised, first 23 years of my life, I lived on saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about my home in Florida now, is that I walk out of my door and my 28, I've got 2 lifts. I've got one built for my 40 Caymas as soon as the customer
As it's done.
So I can build one for myself. But that one's vacant right now. But my 28, I'll be on this weekend. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, when you get your 40, call me. I'll come and test it. We need to do a video on that one.
There you go.
We'd love to
run over and chase some yellowfin.
That's one of the most fun parts of my job. Well, it is the most fun part of my job. I just really enjoy testing and videoing the boats. I can't help but be enthusiastic about them. And when you get a chance to get on a boat like yours, that, one of the protocols I write for Boating Magazine a lot, one of our protocols is always say, something can always be improved. We could do this a little bit better, or you could change this, but it would cost you this. I have a hard time finding those points on your boats.
We had the luxury of looking at what everybody else was doing.
Right.
And visiting with some of the best saltwater dealers in the country. And we do. Adam and I got on the plane. We flew around, met with some of these dealers and other designers, and got a lot of input before we decided exactly what to do on these hybrid models. So like anything, when you finish it, you say, well, maybe we could have done this a little differently. And we're tweaking some things right now on the boats as we go along. But nothing's perfect, but boy, it's pretty dang close.
I'll attest to that. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you spending the time with me. I'm looking forward to my next Caymas boat test, and maybe I'll get on one of my own sometime soon.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Earl, it was great to be with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Vance with Saltwater Sportsman Magazine.